Within these walls, Nehru, Jinnah, Patel and Mountbatten would all discuss partition, and decisions were made that would forever change the course of history. This is the Viceregal building in Shimla. Hello Blueprinters, welcome to a very rainy Shimla. We're just outside the Viceregal Lodge. We're going to go in. Apparently there's an event on there at the minute, so we're just waiting to get in, and then we're going to have a look at one of the most beautiful buildings in Shimla that has a lot of very important history attached to it. But right now we're just standing in the middle of the beautiful Himalayan countryside. I say it's a bit rainy, but look how beautifully green it is. Absolutely lush. You don't just arrive at the Viceregal Lodge, you ascend to it. Winding paths, tall pines, the smell of moss in the air layered on stone. And then it appears. Something straight out of Scotland, not India. What building am I talking about? The Viceregal Lodge. A fortress, a mansion, a monument to power. This is where the British governed half a continent from 2,000 metres above sea level. Built not just as a house to the Viceroy, but to reflect power not to India but back to Britain. Its style, its furnishings, even its cold stone, they were all inward facing. This was colonial architecture as isolation. What you will find here is baronial Scottish design. Grey stone, long tall chimneys, gable ends, slate roofs, very reminiscent of those Scottish castles that we see. There were grand lawns, wrought iron railings, and beautiful little floral gardens which are still maintained today. It was commissioned in 1880 by Lord Dufferin and designed by someone we've met before, Henry Irwin. The guy who did Town Hall and, yes, the Gaiety Theatre that we covered last time. This building actually has some really cool ingenuity too. It was actually one of the first structures in India to have fireproofing. That's through a water sprinkling system, but also through fireproofing the wrought iron girders. Internally, you'll find massive wooden panelling, all imported, of course, including the furniture as well. Come in through the main entrance and you will be met by a triple height atrium space, all panelled out to the very top where you will find a glass atrium roof. It's simply stunning. The central staircase rises up around you, guiding you up floor by floor, literally elevating you up to the highest points of the building. Another ingenious little system on this building is the rainwater harvesting system. Let's take a look. This grass here has tanks of water under it, and those tanks of water are harvested from the roof of the building, and that water is used to water the gardens. It's an entire rainwater harvesting system that's over 120 years old. Imagine that. This is imposing architecture, heavy, deliberate. Every turret, every arched window, every slate tile designed to say, we are here and we are not going anywhere. But of course, they did. A building that once controlled India was about to become the site that would unravel it. Independence was being negotiated. Within these walls, Nehru, Jinnah, Patel and Mountbatten would all discuss partition, and decisions were made that would forever change the course of history. Could you imagine pulling up to this building for some important negotiations? You would feel like one of the most important people on planet Earth.
Now, here's the interesting thing about all of this, because I'm not suggesting that this would not have happened if it was not for the Viceregal building, but of course the backdrop of the Viceregal building comes into play because of its importance due to stature. Because the building carries weight, it carries grandeur, it carries gravitas, And that is done through architecture. We still see it today. Now, the Viceregal building, of course, is a beautiful building. Independence of India would have happened without this building, but it's an interesting thing to think that these discussions were happening within this building. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it.
Today, the Viceregal Lodge is no longer the Viceregal Lodge. It is the India Institute of Advanced Study. A place that used to be full of colonial rulers is now full of some of the most thoughtful minds in India. Kind of poetic if you think about it, really. And that's it from today. Next time, we are going to look at Jakku Temple at the very top of Shimla, built above Christchurch itself. This Hindu temple really says, "Look at me." See you there.